Hello everyone. I'm walking Cedar through the bush, or actually she's walking me. She's always ahead of me, and I'm walking, well, not as fast as I normally do, but I have to walk quite fast to catch up with her. This morning I was on the computer for a very long time, about 5.5 hours, and I really enjoy that process. I love editing videos. I like creating things in Canva or designing things. I like digital painting in Procreate, and I like traditional painting. And what I was doing this morning was combining, just experimenting to see what I could do. I'd had a watercolor painting. I wouldn't really call it a painting. It's more like a little sketch. One of those timed paintings that you do in a Zoom art playdate where you've got limited time. And for me, I'm still practicing that process of painting, talking to other people, hosting the Zoom session, keeping track of the timer, and knowing that my art is being filmed, my process is being filmed. There's a lot of new things happening there for me, and it's taking a bit of time to get used to. But one of the things I really am enjoying about it is the fact that I'm okay with people seeing my process not being perfect. I am quite a bit of a perfectionist in my own painting and in quite a lot of other things that I do. So all I can put it down to is that I've just reached this age where it doesn't really matter what other people think so much. Oh, that's not entirely true. I do still think about that. I do still worry about what other people think, but nowhere near as much as what I used to. And that's really good. Because how do you get better at something if you don't practice it? If you don't just do it? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. Anyway, these little paintings that I've created in the timed painting sessions, the Zoom art playdates, they're not great, They're really unfinished. They're not how I want them to be. They're not really... Anyway, so I took a photo of my watercolor painting and I put it into Procreate, and then I've been drawing over the top of it and just seeing if I can change it and just seeing what I can do, just playing. I was doing that in the Zoom art club last night, and then this morning I was just finishing it off a little bit, and what I found was that the overlay of the digital painting, it also was half done, but I really loved it. And I ended up just removing the watercolor painting layer and just having the digital finishing touches layer. And then I started working into that a tiny little bit. Anyway, I've posted that to the blog, and I've recorded the little film, how Procreate records the film for it and everything. But what it's really made me start thinking is, well, where can I now take that? That digital sketch that I've done has given me an idea for how I can then go and do a painting of it. So one of the things we talked about in Art Club on the 19th of June Art Club, so last night, was painting from our sketches. So rather than painting from reference photos, which we do in our Zoom art playdates all the time, draw or paint from your paintings that you've done from the reference image. So take it further. What can you do with that afterwards? So that's what I'm really excited to explore, is how do I then... So I'm doing my painting, drawing, whatever medium it is I'm doing in a Zoom art playdate, where they're timed and they're rushed and the object is to just get the main colours down, or look at the size relationships, or the line direction, or focus on a particular colour palette, or whatever it is that you've chosen to focus on in that particular, from that photo or in that session itself. So, and then take those drawings that you've done and develop them further and extend the ideas from them. So literally take them somewhere else. Where can you go with that? I'm really excited to explore that, because for a little while I was thinking, why am I doing these Zoom art playdates? Apart from the fact that they're really fun. I mean, honestly, you don't really need any other reason, I know. But I'm trying to find ways that I can use a painting in more than one way, or use something in more than one way. Time is quite limited, and it will get even more so when I go back to work soon. So I've been lucky to have time off and be able to be as creative as what I want to, whenever I want to, and take as long as I want to. That's going to change soon. Oh, damn it. Yeah, but anyway, so how can I repurpose things, and how can I expand on one thing, have more than one use for one for something that I'm doing. And so that's sort of like last night was a bit of a key opening a door for me in that, great, these things that I'm doing in the Zoom art playdates, they don't have to be, they're not the final product, obviously. They're fun, they're connecting with other people, which is important. It's really important for me and for everyone else as well. And then it's the springboard for something else, for some other creative project or some other painting that you're going to do or that I'm going to do. So they're the ideas I've been thinking about. The other thing that I've been really thinking about this last week is for more than a week, is where do I want to take the direction of a couple of the different sections I've got in Substack. We've just come to a crossroads. Okay, Cedar's chosen the way. I'll follow her. Obviously, we're going down towards the beach. And so the Studio Diaries itself, the newsletter that comes out on the first Monday of the month, that's the one that's got like the creative catch-up of what I've been doing in the past month. So June, for example, and then the calendar for the next month, when the events are on, when the Zoom dates are on, when is Open Studio, what date is it, when is Paint and Draw, when is Art Club, what are the dates, what are the times, that sort of stuff. So the calendar. So the Studio Diaries newsletter, the creative catch-up and calendar, it comes out on the first Monday of the month. And what I've been looking at how other people on Substack do their, newsletters and do things, and how they link past blog posts in and say they do their monthly catch-up things, and how they've linked in all the past things that they've done. If they've done Zoom play dates, they link that. And I thought that was a really great idea. I do still think that's a really great idea. But then yesterday I was listening to a podcast, the Laura Horn Art podcast, and whilst a little bit of it was discouraging in that she wasn't highly positive about Substack, although I'm hoping she'll look into it more and realise the potential that it has got. There's one thing that she did say about if she was going to have a blog like that, it would be Studio Diaries. And I thought, oh, that's mine's called. And that she would have it as, this is what's happening in her life, like what is going on in her. It's a diary of her studio, of her art practice and her life. And that was actually my original idea. That's why I started. That's where I started, was why I called it the Studio Diaries, because it was going to be, this is what I've been doing, this is what I've learnt, these are the problems I'm having, these are the problems I've solved, this is what I found out, this is what's inspired me, things like that. Here's my inspiration, suddenly as I look around and it's a gorgeous blue sky, spotted gums are around me, there's no other people, Cedar's sniffing something, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful here. I'm really loving being in the bush in winter, more so than the beach at the moment. I'm finding I'm just being very inspired. It's vivid. There's a richness in the bush that I'm not seeing it as much at the coast, because I go to the beach all the time. This is a little bit different in a way. So yeah, it's really beautiful. So what is inspiring me may help to inspire you too. I hope I don't get lost. I've just realised we're at another crossroads. I hope Cedar knows the way back. It doesn't matter. We'll find our way. And that's how the art process is too. You just find your way. You just go. And you take a left turn at the orange mushroom, or you take a right turn at the tall spotted gum with 3 branches sticking to the left. Studio Diaries. And I was thinking back to, how do I want to have my Studio Diaries? And I really would like to have it as, I do have to have the calendar in there and a bit of catch up, definitely, but I don't think I need to link past art playdates. I don't think so. They're on the blog. People can find them if they want to. I think I'm going to just write about my art practice, what is really happening in the art practice, and do things like this. Have a little audio, which could also be in the podcast that I set up called Art Life Unplugged, for exactly this reason. I don't want to edit. I might a little bit, but I want it to be real life. I want to be able to share the real life. What is it like to be an artist who eventually has to go back to the job, a day job, which is not really creative. It's quite taxing and exhausting, but you know, pays the bills, and it's not all bad. I quite like a lot of parts of my job actually, but it does take everything out of me, and I don't have time left over. So how do I fit art in around that? You know, those sorts of things I wanted to talk about. So I think that the process is the practice. The process. If you're not doing it, you have to do it. I'm such a dreamer. I'm such a in my head person. I think about things. I see how creative things can connect, and I have all these ideas, and I've always have had lots of ideas, but getting it out into the world has been another step, and getting it out into the public world is a step even further that I'm starting to take now. But gee whiz, there's been a lot of creative projects that have just I've hidden them away. So the more real I can make this, the more attainable it's going to be and sustainable for me. I feel like I've changed things on Substack. So at the moment, that's my platform. That's the platform I'm using. I have other ideas to take it to other platforms as well later on. But for now, this is my training ground and my practice ground, my practice process, where I'm figuring out, well, what are the color palettes I want to use? What's my voice? How do I want to talk, write, everything like that? And how do I want to be in the world as an artist? Am I an art teacher? Am I an artist? Am I both? Am I just a guide? How is that going to work for me? So I'm getting to practice things and try things out. And I really think that's the only way you figure things out. Like, it's like figuring out your art style. How can you figure out your art style if you're not making art? Huh? You've got to do things, explore, experiment, try things again, change things, maybe be influenced by other people for a fair while. Definitely I am. I've had some amazing role models. Melissa Martin Art is a fantastic role model for me. I've learned so much from her in her dedication, her consistency, all of those sorts of things. She's very, very inspiring, and I'm very grateful to her because she's also very generous with her knowledge. I've definitely been influenced and inspired by Melissa, and a few other people as well that I've really been inspired by. And now it's like, well, okay, this is a really great place for me to start, but where do I want to go, and how do I want to do this? And maybe I want to change this, and maybe I want to change that. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's very time consuming. And I know it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm talking to myself here, but I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going and see where it takes me. I'm really going to try and commit for a year, which scares me like crazy. I don't even know if I can commit for another week. Yeah, really, honestly. It freaks me out a bit. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work, but I want to do it. Like, sometimes I don't. Occasionally, this last week, I've had a few wobblies where I've just gone, oh my goodness, this is so much work. But I really, really, really want to commit to this. I want to know, how do I do this? In that, how do I balance my life with this and maintain it? What do I need to change in my life to be able to achieve this goal that I've set for myself in a sustainable and healthy way? And that's very important, the healthy part of it. So coming out and walking in the bush like what I'm doing now with Cedar, I'm watching her in case she goes off and chases a kangaroo. She's got her ears pointed up. Yeah, she's such a good girl. Good girl, sweetheart. Good girl. Yeah, she's good. She's good. I forget what I was saying. How do I want to show up? How do I commit? What things do I need to change? Exercise. I need to exercise a lot more than what I have been. And hey, Seeds, I don't know if we'll go that way. Okay. She's taking me down to where there was, it's like a gully. It's like we're in a, I don't know what kind of bush this has got. It's like, it's very thick and rainforesty, but we're going down to a deeper, like a gully, where the other day when we were down there, it's rainforesty, and there were so many bell miners around that they were all, oh, they're incredible, beautiful. But geez, so hard to photograph. Good girl, sweetheart, good girl. So I need to, instead of doing things like what I did this morning and get up and go straight on my computer for 5.5 hours, literally in one go, I find I'm a morning person and I get my work done in the morning, but I'm also good at exercising in the morning. And I'm exercising now. It's, I don't know, around about 11 o'clock. It's 11:30. And yeah, well, we're going down a very steep hill now. Good girl, Seeds. She keeps looking back to see if I'm coming or if I'm okay. She's so beautiful. I'm so deeply in love with her. Gosh, this is very steep. Yeah, I like to get the work out of the way, like done and out of the way. But that's also my best time for doing strength training and the sort of the exercise that's not fun and easy. This is fun and easy. I mean, okay, yes, we're walking down a steep thing at the moment. My knees are going wobble. But this is beautiful out here. I don't have to try hard to go for a walk. I could walk for hours every day. Yeah, how do you fit things in? How do you balance things? How do I find a way to stay creative? Anyway, staying creative is easy. Walking is easy. Cooking proper meals, cleaning the house, doing the gardening, going and doing the grocery shopping, those things are not so easy. They are easy, but they're not things I really want to do. Just have to make sure Cedar's okay. Okay, all good. And I'm not really very good at sticking to a timetable type thing. I'm more like I work for solidly in chunks of time on one thing at a time. I'm not very good at multitasking or breaking things up. I like to just be steady and just stay with one task at a time, because when I have a break, I find it really hard to get back into that flow state, into the zone of whatever it is that I'm making or doing or editing or writing or creating. I wish that I could just be like I am at school. It's easy at school because there's bells. No, that's not even the reason. Because I'm just used to working like that in my work situation. But in my creativity in my home, I'm not very good at doing a different thing every 50 minutes or an hour or something like that. I just, like, I am the best. I get things done the best. And I know that this goes against all theory and research. I like to just get up, and whatever it is I work on, I start on, then the first thing in the day is what I can keep doing for hours and hours. Yeah, so sometimes I think that's how I work. I don't know if it's healthy though. And surprise, we're nearly at the beach. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to play around with those sorts of things. I'm going to experiment. I know I definitely need to do more exercise, so that might mix it up a bit. Like, that might make me not spend 5.5 hours on the computer at a time, although it's pretty easy to do that. I've really enjoyed this Substack. I've really enjoyed the creativity that it's bringing to me and the new sort of sense of purpose that I'm finding in my life. I feel that it's a creative adventure that I'm exploring different ways of presenting and being and doing. And it's also making me think about how can I extend these things into deeper, more meaningful projects or possibly exhibitions in the future. I'm really enjoying the creative aspect of it. One thing that I know is going to be a bit of a challenge for me is to keep up with being social with everybody. Like, I know I have to get out and put myself out there, and I know I have to engage and interact and be social. And it's not that I don't want to do that, because I've really made some great friends. I've made some really, really great friends online, and I love that feeling of being connected to people who get what I'm doing, or get, artists who are creative and generous and open-minded and inspiring and positive and uplifting and encouraging, and have struggles too, and share them with you, and we're in this together. Like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful art community. I think I went to school yesterday for the first time in quite a while to do some training, and I really feel like that's a different reality that I am, I don't know, I just feel like the art community is supportive and friendly and kind. And I just want to stay there. I really want to stay there. But all the other things that fit into your life, that you have to fit into your life to have any sort of artistic practice, whether you're having a business or not, if you want to maintain a consistent art practice, improve your, whatever it is, your painting or drawing or whatever it is that you do, you have to put time in consistently, and you have to show up. And if you do have any sort of art business or social media presence, you've got to be there. You've got to give that time, and you've got to, I don't know, maybe edit videos, write blog posts, create Instagram posts, create reels, do YouTube videos, create a YouTube thumbnail, create the Substack cover, put all the links in, find the links first, and then put all the links in that you've mentioned in a Zoom art play date, or all of that stuff. I haven't even got to the how do you do all the money aspect of it yet, really. Like, I just think, I don't know how I'm going to fit that extra bit of the whole social thing in. Like, I know I have to. I'm such a hermit ordinarily. I'm fairly much by myself with Cedar, like this, in the bush, or at the beach, or in the studio. From the backyard through the bush to the beach is my little thing, my motto. One of them anyway. And yeah, just, oh well, see, this is what I'm committing to. I'm going to do this 1 year. I'm going to give it 1 year. What does it take? I don't want to be unhealthy with it. Like, I don't want to be physically unhealthy or mentally unhealthy in myself. I definitely need to balance things more than what I have been. Yeah, and find ways that I can achieve this goal. So I think this is what I'm going to write about and talk about, and those sorts of things. I think I'm going to talk about my journey and my process with the Studio Diaries, in the Studio Diaries, either in the podcast Art Life Unplugged or on the monthly newsletters, I think. In the Studio Diaries, the newsletter that comes out, the creative catch-up and calendar, I might make a little audio for that. Or maybe that's the one thing that I will link, is if I did a podcast. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, and that's kind of good. I feel like there's lots of possibilities ahead of me, and that's exciting. That's part of the exciting creative journey, is not really knowing where things are going to go, but just going, righto, stomping boots. Put your boots on, lace them up if they're lace, or maybe like me, they're gumboots. I'm a gumboot girl. And you might need a hat, bottle of water. Yeah, probably something with protein, nuts if you can have nuts. Something to give you energy, some good friends by your side. We can do this, my friends. We can do this. And I would really like to say thank you to those people who have already joined me on the journey. I could not have even thought about doing this, the commitment thing, without you. I really couldn't have gotten even this far. I'm really grateful for you guys showing up at the art play dates, just showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because I've learned so much about how to host, how to talk. I'm learning so much about that whole, how do I do Zoom art play dates, and how do I paint fast, and how do I talk, all of that. As well as, I know that this is going to push me out of my comfort zone. It is already a little bit, and that's good. That's a good thing, because I've been in my comfort zone. I love my comfort zone. I've been in my comfort zone for a very long time, and life is pretty short, and I'm sure I've got things to offer and I want to find out how I can do it. So this is what we're going to do. You're welcome to join me on the ride. I would love it if you did. Any advice you've got, I'd love to hear it. If you're going to do the same thing, let me know, and let's support each other. Yeah, very cool. Okay, I am going to spend a little time with my little doggo now because she's beautiful. She's so beautiful. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Hope you got something out of this. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.